What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, back with some more Subhumans. Indeed, I haven't reacted to Subhumans nearly enough. I think I've only done 2 tunes up to this point. They do constitute one of my really favorite bands. As mentioned, Propagandhi might always be my favorite because they were my entry into the world of like real punk rock. But shortly thereafter, I discovered Subhumans, and just from their lyrics to their gritty sound to their ethos, and just to Dick Lucas's like creative brain and sort of artwork and so on. I'm just a huge fan. So we're gonna listen to a tune that is originally I first heard it, I believe, on their EP LP. It's a tune called "Religious Wars," but we're actually gonna listen to the Live in a Dive release, which they put out. Let me just make sure I have this right. I believe it's 04, but I want to get this right. That's what this CD... Oh, I could probably just look right here, huh? Does it say it? I don't think it... Oh, it does. 2004. So, yeah, I'm right. It is 2004. Let me just make sure... Yeah, like I said, I originally heard it on the EPLP. I mentioned before, in later years, I think Dick Lucas has a lower vocal register, and so this is from 04. I saw them, I mentioned this, I saw them 05 at the same venue that this was recorded at, the Showcase Theater in Corona, California. They played a slightly different set list, and I mentioned before, once I got this album, it was dope, because it was like, yo, that's like the same concert I went to, but with extra songs that I didn't hear that night. So shout out to Dick and the band, seen here. Trying to like figure out, there's been a couple of videos where I try to show the album and I don't get the framing right, so I'm going to hold it a little farther away. But yeah, so like I said, this is on Fat Records, 2004. We're going to listen to a tune called Religious Wars. I don't think it needs too much vocal analysis, or lyrical analysis, sorry. Vocal analysis, you're going to have to go elsewhere. But lyrical analysis, it is about the way in which, you know, the cultural authorities of different religions, past and present, around the world have, you know, sort of rushed in to fill a void in different areas of life, whether it's a sense of community, or it's a desire for reassurance that things are going to be okay, or to explain the unknown, and a number of other things. And ultimately, in many cases and in many times and places, once that condition is achieved, there's this desire to spread that to others, which of course has more benign manifestations and more malevolent manifestations. And ultimately, the more malevolent ones do often turn violent, and if enough people in the area are just fully committed to and fervent about the religion, because it has filled so many different parts of human experience with supernatural ideas, that it will inevitably lead to religious wars, and ultimately the martyrs of those wars, the people who go and die and kill for those religions, ultimately they're as dead as anybody else. It doesn't, you might think you're going to some supernatural haven, but at the end of the day, you've committed a horrible violent act and have no life in your eyes. Your eyes are black and dead on this battlefield, whether it be one from the Middle Ages crusade, or a recent like religious paramilitary like action, genocidal violence. So yeah, it's about religious wars and the way that people's minds and emotions are exploited and ultimately, thrown away in pursuit of religious violence. So again, beyond that, I think it's a pretty straightforward song, and I don't want to like speak too widely on religion with Subhumans because they have so many different songs addressing religious belief and different aspects of like religion in society and so on, that I feel like I want to keep it like narrow to whatever the particular topic that they're speaking about. So yeah, again, religious violence committed by people who have had sort of their emotions and beliefs manipulated, maybe not even cynically. There's this belief, I think, or conviction among some non-religious folk that a lot of like religious leaders are doing this all like knowingly and, sort of like, oh, I know it's not true, but I'm going to convince people. I think a lot of the people who compel people to do terrible things in the name of their religion actually are very fervent in belief themselves, which that's not reassuring. If anything, it's probably more terrifying. But yeah, ultimately, I think, some of that manipulation or exploitation is not so much cynical as it is just equally like fervent and deluded. So ultimately, here we go. This is Subhumans' Religious Wars, the live version from 04 at the Showcase in Corona on the album Live in a Dive. suppose in this case it is making more of a cynical case, right? Like, that you got used, manipulated, and they didn't give a shit about you when you died. Religion is fear, fear of a threat of something unreal, which leads you to, in brackets, abdicate the way you really feel. Dick Lucas, man. Give me some of that Subhumans guitar, come on. Get out your lighters for that real kind of fucking concert moment. There's no reason why. Makes me want to do Subvert City. There's a lot of. It's funny. Not only vocals by Dick have a slightly different sound by this point than they did on the early '80s stuff, like the actual recorded albums. But some of the tunes take on a slightly different character, and that, like Subvert City, I love the original. It's great. But it has a more kind of like Dusty Road kind of vibe, whereas the beginning of the live version, it very much captures that, but it feels harder and more powerful than the original version. So there's a couple songs on this live album that have a slightly different sonic character. So I might come back for Subvert City because I really do enjoy not only that song in general, but particularly the version on this album. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you're a fan of the band, or let me know if this is sort of new to you and that you're more into Bad Religion or some of these other bands that I've been reacting to. But I do think Dick Lucas, the person, the vocalist, and the band leader, and the rest of the Subhumans need to be heard. It's just such a good band, and they're still doing shows today, still putting out albums modern times. Like I said, this is 2020, I believe, or is it 2019? Basically, it's within the last few years. Let me just check, because I have this open. That album, Crisis Point, is 2019. Yeah, so it's within the last 3 years. And if you think that, again, he's not bringing the same level of passion, then I encourage you to check out that picture and reassess your position. Nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed. There'll be more Subhumans reactions. As I said, maybe the next one, Subvert City, but let me know what you want to hear. Always looking for feedback and recommendations or requests. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. I'll see you next time.